Hello my friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Shannon and this is Yoga with Shannon. So today we're going to do a practice which will be Yin Yoga for anger. And anger is an emotion that is very familiar with many of us. And it can be a very destructive emotion to ourselves and others. And it's also an emotion that we can suppress, which does no good if it's stuck in our body. So this is a way to release anger or maybe connect with anger so we can become friends with it. So let's get started. So for this practice today, we'll definitely be using at least one block, maybe two. And if you don't have a yoga block, you can always have some dictionaries wrapped in a cotton bag. It's also a good idea to have a couple of cushions, for example. So if you have those nearby, grab them and let's get started. So we're going to come into our first pose, Sukhasana. So we're going to be lying on our backs with our legs crossed. So imagine if you were sitting with your legs crossed as if you were going to meditate, crossing your legs and then very gently coming down and lying down on the mat. Crossing the legs, let your arms rest away from your body. You can have your feet, you can have your ankles crossed, or maybe you want to have one foot in front of the other foot. And just arriving, feeling the body, the hips opening. Maybe you will be feeling a slight lower back bend, and just melting here into the posture, imagining your whole body just settling down, arriving on the mat. If for any reason this is quite a big strain on your groin, you can always support your thighs with blocks. So you can use one of three heights. There's the low, the medium and the high. So depending on your needs, you could just place the blocks to support you. So just see what is needed. It's natural to feel some discomfort and strain in yin as we compress and stretch our joints, ligaments and tissues. And just noticing if you have any tension or resistance in your body and consciously relaxing your body. And then we're just going to slowly and gently switch our legs, just changing them, and settle down here, supporting your thighs if you need with a cushion or with blocks or books. take 2 deep breaths here. Exhale through your mouth. And then gently extend your legs all the way down and reach your arms over your head and have a nice big stretch. And then gently releasing and slowly pushing yourself up and coming up onto your shins. So coming to one end of your mat and maybe bringing a block or a cushion. We're going to come into a modified child's pose, so sitting down on our heels. If that's not available for you, you can always use a cushion under your buttocks or even a folded blanket. And we're going to sit on our heels, and then we're going to extend, for example, the right leg to the side. And we're going to flex the toes towards us, and we're going to feel a stretch in the back of the thigh. And then we're going to slowly bring our torso over the right thigh, slowly coming down. And as we come down, we're going to drop the foot to point to the front of the mat, to the long side, and then we're going to fold over, and then you can rest your head on a block or some books or a cushion, or you can make fists with your hands and rest your head in your hands. And feeling the stretch on the inside of the thigh. And in general, being curious about the pose, how it feels in the physical body. Take 2 deep breaths here. Exhale through your mouth. Very gently coming out of the pose, pushing yourself up, and then gently bend the extended leg and bring it to join the other leg. And then we're going to turn to the front of our mat. And we're going to bring our right knee behind our right wrist. And then we're going to sit down on our right buttock. And we're going to bring the left knee, bending it to the side, and then we're going to fold over the right shin towards the front of the mat, feeling a stretch on the inside of the left thigh. And we're just going to rest down here. Again, you can come all the way down if that's available for you. Or you can rest you can make little fists and rest your head on your fists, or use a block. And take 2 deep breaths here. And very gently coming out of the pose, pressing into your hands. That was deer pose. And then we just coming onto our shins, and we're going to change sides. So coming to the opposite side of the mat, bring your block along with you, if that's what you're using, or your books. Beautiful. And coming again to sit on our heels. And we're going to extend the opposite leg away from us with our toes pointing up while we sit on the heel. Pointing the toes up, feeling that stretch on the back of the thigh. And then as we bring our torso over our thigh, we drop our toes towards the side of the mat, the long side of the mat, and gently coming down. And as we do that, we feel the stretch on the inside of the thigh, and we drop down, folding down, and then resting our head on a block, books, or on your fists, and just settling in here. If the mind is very busy, we just gently let the thoughts go without judging them and come back into the body. And take 2 deep breaths here. Very gently, pressing yourself up using your hands and then bringing your knee close to your body, and then we're going to come into our deer pose on the other side. So turning to the short side of the mat, we bring our right knee behind our left knee behind our left wrist, and then we sit down on our left buttock and bring the right knee slightly to 90 degrees, and then we bring our torso, folding our torso over our left shin, and we want to feel some kind of compression on the inside of the right thigh, so we can bring our body all the way down. If that's available for you. If not, you can always make fists with your hands and rest your head on your hands, or use a block or use books, and then settling into the pose. All the time, just surrendering into stillness, just allowing the body to be still and allowing the mind to settle and to follow the body. And take 2 deep breaths here. And then very gently easing yourself up out of the pose, just taking your time. Beautiful. And then we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So coming up onto your hands and knees, bringing your hands forward, and then we're going to bend the left knee and bring it behind the left wrist. You can have your foot as close to your midline of your body or as close to the front of the mat as you need. So for this pose, you could also just sit to one side and lift your foot and bring it forward. And then coming up, we're coming into swan. So we inch our right knee back slightly and we bring our torso down towards the right side. And again, you can rest all the way down on your hands, on your arms, or maybe you want to use a block. If you have tension in your jaw, if you're clenching your teeth, you can slightly open your mouth and let all the tension release, and just leave your mouth a little bit open and let your face soften, letting go. And take 2 deep breaths here. Beautiful. And then gently remove any props and tuck your back toes and bring your back knee forward slightly. Place your hands on the mat, and then tucking your back toes, press up into downward dog. So coming into a soft downward dog, you can bend your knees and walk your dog, just releasing any compression, any energy, whatever feels good for you. You can stretch the side body as you walk your dog. Beautiful. And then gently bring your right knee behind your right wrist and place the left knee down. And again, if you need to adjust your foot to bring it forward slightly, you can sit to one side and just find what works for you in terms of compression in your right buttock and a stretch in your left groin. And then gently coming down all the way, and then bring your torso a little bit over to the left side. And again, you can rest your head on a book, a block, or a cushion. Or you could just come all the way down without any props. Take 2 deep breaths here. And gently start to push yourself up with your hands. Beautiful. And then tuck your back toes and bring your back knee forward slightly. And then slide the right knee back and tuck your toes. Come up into a soft downward dog. Nice and soft, bend your knees and then just walk out your dog. Stretch side body. Just releasing any compression. Beautiful, and then slowly come down onto your knees. Wonderful, and we're going to come down onto our mats, onto our backs. Wonderful. And then just bring your knees to your chest. Squeezing your knees, you can have your knees wide and just resting your hands on your knees. Press your back into the mat. And then gently drop your feet behind your buttocks. Extend your arms away from your body with your palms facing down. We're going to come into our reclining twist. Raise your hips up and place your hips to the left side of the mat. And then dropping your knees to the right side, stacking your knees and your hips and adjusting your shoulders to remain on the mat. You can gaze up to the sky or you can turn your gaze towards your left hand. If you'd like to go deeper, you can wrap the top leg over the bottom leg. Again, just melting here into the spinal twist, which is very relaxing for your nervous system. Take 2 deep breaths here. And gently unwrapping your legs and slowly come onto your back. Take your time and hug your knees into your chest, squeezing your knees, pressing your back into the mat, and rock a little bit side to side. And then dropping your feet again behind your buttocks, extend your arms away with your palms facing down. And this time, raise your hips up and place them to the right side of the mat. Dropping your knees to the left side, stacking your hips and knees, adjusting your shoulders to be on the mat. You can gaze up or gaze towards the right hand. You can also wrap the right leg over the left leg if you like. And just relaxing, melting into the spinal twist. And take 2 deep breaths here. And gently releasing. And coming onto your back. One last time, squeeze your knees into your chest. Pressing your knees close to your chest and pressing your lower back into the mat, rock side to side. Make circles with your knees. And change direction. And then extending your legs down for Shavasana. Feet as wide as the mat, arms away from the body, palms facing up. Closing your eyes and let your body be heavy. Letting go. slowly start to deepen your breath. Moving your fingers and moving your toes. And rocking your head from side to side. Take a nice big stretch, reaching your arms over your head. And then slowly roll onto your right side. And very gently come up to seated. And just taking a moment here to just feel your body and mind. And bring your hands to prayer. And take a moment to feel gratitude for your inner teacher, who's your best guide. And then bow your head, open your eyes, and raise your gaze. Namaste, friends. Thank you very much for sharing your practice with me today, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat soon.